In three, two, one.
Uh,
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
Alrighty. So, welcome to Inside or Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts. Uh, Hopefully, you didn't mind the intro to try something new, uh, where we go on about various films every Sunday if we can help it. But I believe our good friend Boris here has brought us a interesting film. So why don't you tell us about this film you've subjected us to this week? And sorry about the doing the intro, but I thought I have an intro set up for Delusions of Grandeur, but might as well try to see if I could use it.
that's fine. I didn't mind. So this time I decided to take a break from the Ring franchise and do a movie that another friend of mine has recently suggested to me, someone unconnected to our group. The movie is The Toxic Avenger from 1984. So I was told that I would really enjoy this movie because of some themes it deals with, and that person was pretty much correct. So yeah, let's see what IMDb says about the movie. It was directed by Michael Hertz and Lloyd Kaufman, written by Lloyd Kaufman, Joe Ritter, and Gay Partington Terry, starring Andre Miranda, Mitch Cohen, and Jennifer Baptist. And it says Traumaville has a monstrous new hero. The Toxic Avenger is born when meek mop boy Melvin falls into a lot of toxic waste. Now evildoers will have a lot to lose. Oh hell yeah. uh, so is this the first time you have seen this movie, and what were your first impressions? Let's start with Tammy.
All right.
Oh no, it's not the first time. The first time I saw this, my dad actually showed it to me. So, my dad seemed to like strange movies. I mean, he showed me this one. He showed me more than one Mel Brooks one. He just, he seemed to like getting into the strange movies. So, yeah, Jeez. I would know I was like, so it came out in 84. So I was 12. I'd say I probably saw it a couple years after it came out with my dad. Because I know he didn't have it. I believe we went and rented it. Because at that time, going and renting VHS was a big thing, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, at that time it was a big thing to go rent VHS. So, and at that time I had every other weekend that I spent with my father. So, he'd, try and figure out stuff, So, yeah, I thought it was funny. I mean, when I remember him saying something, look at this, we're gonna watch this, and I remember looking like at the cover of the thing, going, "What?" Because
Yeah, he probably had it on VHS, didn't he?
I think we rented it. I'm not. I don't remember right now, but he obviously has seen it before. Because he was all hyped up to show it to me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. I just, I had fun watching it with him and everything, and it was just, on the back of my head, I'm going, oh, geez, here we go, another weird thing that he found, another weird one that he came up with. But it was, yeah, my first time, it was a lot of fun because it was with him, and I enjoyed the movie for a number of reasons because I was watching it with him. Plus, the movie is fun. It's weird. It's off the wall. It's some of the people in it are like quite deranged. But I'm sorry.
Deranged. I prefer the term "spoodow."
Well,
Okay, sorry.
we made comments and stuff back in high school and stuff, and you'd be driving around and you'd see somebody, they're crossing the street and they got a handful of groceries. Oh, 10 points, or this. It was all in fun. Nobody ever tried to run them over. It was, this point or that point or that point, but it was just it was said, not done. Okay. So, there was points given for this or this or this, but it was never acted on, It was just out of being stupid and being funny, So when they actually do it in this movie, it's just like, oh my God. Yeah. So that's where I get the deranged from, because it's like, I remember us acting stupid and saying this many points for this and this and this and this, but nobody acted on it, And then to see these people go and actually do it, it was just like, okay. I mean, there was a lot of fun stuff that I did like in the movie, but I did not like that part. So, I mean, there's things in movies that, that are even horror movies or whatever, that it's just like, okay, I think maybe you shouldn't have done that part,
The only part I really had an issue with was when they killed the dog.
I had an issue with that too, but I had more of an issue of running over the kid.
Well, okay, I can see why some people would have an issue with that too.
Well, not just running over the kid, but running over him again just to make sure he's dead.
Right, and like totally getting off on it. It just I did not like that part of the movie. You know.
Well, truth be told, I was kind of shocked too by that part. I mean, until then I thought they were just some dumbass bullies. When all of a sudden, poof, they are actually cold-blooded murderers. So I was a little bit
Well,
shocked, but I wasn't too disturbed by it because, well, I'm a horror fan and I do like morbid comedies too. So I went into this movie expecting a morbid comedy, so I didn't expect any limitations. So
Well, it's been a long time since I've
well,
watched
and
it.
bear in mind,
Like
this is
it's been a long
go ahead.
time since I watched it, so I didn't exactly totally remember that when they were looking at the newspaper clipping and talking and stuff and all that. I didn't actually remember until it was happening that they actually did this. You know, so
uh,
because it's been a while since I've seen it, and it's like I know that Trauma does a lot of weird stuff and off the wall stuff and everything, but I don't I don't know that part just bothered me. Other than that, I have fun with the movie for the most part, but did not like that part.
uh,
I I think
Although
that's
this is
going a little
not
bit too
Lloyd
far.
Kaufman, uh, although this is not
well,
Lloyd Kaufman's first feature, it is the movie that stapled him in the independent horror scene. So,
hmm, makes sense.
I mean, I don't like children or pet as much as I like my horror movies and stuff like that. I don't like seeing children or pets hurt. So,
well, one thing I can say is one of the cardinal rules that you're technically not supposed to cross is you cannot kill a kid on screen. uh, that's one of the things that technically is a no-no.
well,
Uh,
I guess they violated
Also,
that.
killing actual animals. You cannot kill actual animals on screen either. So, uh, that being said, um,
Well, I'd
on
be upset
on
if
screen they make it believable, but
well, I
no
would be
animals
upset
or
if
children were hurt during the filming.
well, yeah, no one was really hurt, right?
Correct.
Correct, but it's still I just yeah.
Well, okay, I can see why some people would not enjoy seeing that, but if that's someone's artistic idea, even if it's dark and morbid and stuff, I don't think artistic freedom should be limited only because people don't like to see it.
To an extent, I agree. Um, I,
Well, to an
I
extent, I agree too, but
it's still hard to see it
I mean,
on
I
screen
mean,
if you're not
uh,
used to it.
Uh, I didn't enjoy the scene of the dog getting killed. Yet I still wouldn't say they should be forbidden from putting something like that into a movie. Of course, as long as they don't actually hurt an animal in real life.
well, no, there are a lot of movies out there that animals get killed, and we understand that the animals aren't really killed or not really hurt. But that's understood. But
Yes.
just like I know that kid really didn't get hurt. It's just the thought, okay? So
Oh, yeah. I understand.
Now, I'm not sure when I actually first saw this film, but I remember the person who introduced it to me, and that's my now deceased friend Bruce. He's the one who introduced me to it, and that was well before I had started to become an online reviewer, and even before I started my blog. So I saw the at least the first one years ago, and then it wasn't until I was with Tammy that we actually kind of like went through and watched the entirety of it because she bought the set for me one year, um, and then I was able to do the same for her a year ago. So, um, and well, yeah, because there's four of them out there. I don't even count the one from 2023 because it only went and was seen uh, at 3 festivals, one of them an international thing, and it's been deemed as an undistributable film. And there's no real date of when it's going to be released. They say 2025, but it's not set in stone. So I feel like that's due to the cancel culture and the people who are pussies who just
Yes,
seem to have no sensibilities that, okay, we can handle the gore, you know?
fuck them and their fascist censorship retardation. There, I said
Well, I
it.
agree. But I also think the director shouldn't just let it go on the shelf. I think he should uh, distribute it independently himself, since no other distributor is picking it up or coming out of the woodworks. But
Oh
that's not neither here
yeah,
nor there.
or maybe release it in other countries where they don't have such laws and people will find their way to it then.
Possibility, but I'm assuming the director is another one of those idiots who want it on an actual distribution thing because you want to get the best deal for your film, even though it might take years or it might take never. So,
Well,
Yeah.
but
the only thing I can see hindering it is basically what we already pointed out: the child and the animal getting killed. I can,
well, yeah,
with the with the way that people are looking at films and stuff now, I can see that those would be the two big red flags as to why they would have problems.
and I do want to say, Tammy, that the guy who plays Toxie in this new one is the
Uh-huh.
same guy who played Cyrano,
Oh,
Peter Dinklage.
He's a
wow.
little.
Once he turns into Toxie, supposedly that's Peter Dinklage.
So he's a little
Oh,
So
toxic. So he's a little
yeah, he's a
toxic.
little Toxie.
Okay.
yeah, speaking of which, I did stumble upon that nickname Toxie, yet they never actually used it in this movie.
What?
In this movie, the one that I watched today, they never actually used the nickname Toxie for the main character.
Oh,
Yes, she does.
yeah.
The blind lady
Um,
doesn't the blind
in
lady call?
well, in this one, yeah, the blind girl actually calls him Toxie.
She does. I somehow forgot that.
Well, she calls him Melvin a lot, but she does call him Toxie, and I think as the movie goes on, and they're everybody is supporting him and stuff like that. I think that's how he starts getting the nickname of Toxic.
Who?
So
Are you sure that nickname doesn't maybe start appearing only in the sequels or something?
I don't know, because I heard it in this movie, and everybody knows this movie. Everybody calls him Toxie, you know? You
Huh.
know?
Yep.
Well,
And I do believe they call him Toxie in the live stage musical as well of the film. So,
I believe so.
I see.
but yeah, I think this is the fulcrum of Trauma, the studio Trauma, this movie, because it spawned 3 sequels and a remake. It became a part of Marvel Comics, and there was a Saturday morning cartoon, a 12-episode one, and a cartoon movie that was made as well, from the Toxic Avenger universe. And I know there are a lot of people who, if asked who their favorite Avenger is, they will say Toxic Avenger. I often think that Toxie, the character, is often almost relatable to the Thing from the Fantastic Four, because it's the relationship between him and the blind girl is fairly similar. The Thing has a blind girl as a girlfriend, so and the Thing is kind of like a rock in a an experiment that went wrong, turned his body into like rock type material, and he eventually gets a blind girlfriend. Friend. Well, that's kind of similar to the Toxic Avenger, but the Toxic Avenger has a similar has a interesting story because of him being a nerd and a kind of a pervert and a mop boy, and after he got, you know, turned into this toxic waste creature, he kind of became a superhero. But
Pretty
let us
much.
go into your thoughts, Boris. Was this a first time watch for you?
Actually, yes, it was the first time. Like I said, the movie was recently suggested to me by a good friend of mine. And yeah, I did enjoy it quite a bit. I had a little bit different expectations. I thought the whole focus of the movie was going to be on him getting revenge on people who tormented him personally. I didn't expect he would go around killing other bad guys too. Although that's not a downside to the movie. That's just me having a different idea before I began watching. And I really enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I liked all the morbid humor in it. I mean, I found most of the killings in the movie morbidly hilarious, even those done by the bad guys that were undeserved and not fair and not a good thing, but still kind of portrayed on screen in a way that makes you laugh, even though you know you shouldn't. Uh, well, at least that
Well, it is definitely a comedy horror film. It is
yeah,
definitely a comedy horror film. That's for
yes.
darn sure. And uh, most of the films that were directed by Lloyd and Michael Hertz together, um, were comedy horror films. So
Ooh.
he definitely he definitely came at it as if he were a perverted comedian. But to be fair and honest, I actually think he kind of started out fairly similar to what is his name? I know Brandon always talks about this guy, and we
Uh,
watched a futuristic movie of this dude. Trying to
uh,
remember his name. Uh, we watched Sleeper with this guy in it, and it was a futuristic thing. Sleeper.
who?
Woody Allen. His
Ah,
first film was kind of very similar to Woody Allen style type film. And then he I feel like he's an extended perverted version of uh, another guy, a guy we well know his films. And you like Spaceballs, Tammy,
Mel Brooks.
and
Yeah.
A History of the World Part One. Well, I feel like he has a bit of his flair, except he's more perverted and with gore. I feel like he took over from Mel Brooks.
Ooh, fair enough.
At least on the indie side of things. If you get my drift. Not all of
Yeah.
his films or the films that he picks up for his company are uh, cultural films, but well, I would actually have to say they are cultural films, but they are well liked by the independent film community. So most of them.
Who?
But in any case, are you pretty much done, Boris, with your first impressions then?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, bring us into the plot.
Okay. So, at the very beginning, yeah. Oh, wow, I didn't even catch the guy's full name in the movie. Melvin Ferd, Junko the Third. Wow. Nice name. Melvin Ferd, Junko the Third, is a 98-pound janitor at a health club. I thought that was a gym, but okay, maybe not. In the fictional town of Tromaville in New Jersey, and we get to know
Well,
some
and it
customers.
starts out with a narration of sorts.
Uh, uh, oh yeah, yeah. What do they say? What do they say there? I kind of
They were
forgot, to be
basically
honest.
introducing you. They were basically introducing you to the health club and Melvin and the story of Toxic Avenger. And then at the end, you heard the narrator start up again, too. So,
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that kind of slipped my mind. I'm sorry. Do they say anything significant in that narration? Because somehow it, it
they
really
do.
slipped.
I do believe that the narration at least introduces the characters that seem to uh, be the bullies that dislike Melvin so much, and also introduces Melvin, the mop boy, and then
Uh,
it just kind of just plays the story out.
yes, actually, that's the first thing I remember. Those bullies in the pool and Melvin going around and cleaning, and they start acting like assholes. Uh, I'm sorry, it's just that when I have seen a movie only once, I often somehow forget some details.
That's okay.
Uh,
I noticed the narration and in some superhero movies they often have a narrator uh, to narrate some of the story, which makes it a little bit more fictional.
Indeed. So yeah, we get to know these bullies or the customers of the health club, Bozo, Slug, Wanda, and Julie. And yeah, we find out that they often harass and bully Melvin apparently on a regular basis. But in this beginning scene, we get to see quite a nasty moment of them doing that. Uh, uh, so, yeah, they start pushing him around and they get physically violent with him. And this girl Julie is the one who does kind of the worst thing
Bozo.
there. Sorry, what?
Then of course there's Mayor Peter Belgoody.
Oh yeah, we he already appears at that point too.
And Officer O'Clancy. And then of course there's
Yeah.
the chief of police. There's Cigar Face. There's Knuckles, Nipples, Leroy, Frank,
I,
Rico, Mrs. Haskell.
uh,
But we deal with the four are Wanda, Julie, and Slug and Bozo. And Bozo seems to be the muscled jock, so to speak. That seems to be kind of the leader, but he's also kind of the puppet because it's his girlfriend, I believe, Julie, that seems to mastermind everything that they do. Because she's the
yeah,
one who every time they hit someone, they helps look at the photos of their latest victims.
Oh yeah, he, I'm kind of surprised you already mentioned Cigar Face and Leroy and all those others. I
Well,
thought their
we'll
first
get into
appearance.
those characters later. Those characters are later. I was just mentioning some of the names that pop up eventually.
Ah, oh, I thought you were saying they all appear at the very beginning.
Oh
So
no,
I got
just these four at first, because you kind of got to talk about them a little bit. A bit. What snobs, eh?
I'm sorry, what did you say? You kind of got to talk about those.
Well, I was talking about the four bullies,
Oh,
Julie and
yeah.
Wanda, and Slug and Bozo. And Bozo's kind of the muscle guy, who he goes out with Julie, and Slug, well, he goes out with Wanda, and Wanda is the brown-haired girl. Julie is the blonde.
Indeed.
Couple of
Uh,
bimbos and a couple of jocks.
pretty much. So at the beginning, they kind of appear like some dumbass bullies, but you don't really expect they can commit some serious crime we see until we see them run over a kid. Actually, before they do that, while they are in the car, they start talking about some things like if you kill, I don't know, a black person or a woman, or I don't know what they said, you get this amount of points or that amount, blah blah. But at first you think they are just bullshitting until
If you kill a black guy, it's 25 points. If you kill a Mexican, it's 25 points. If you kill a Puerto Rican, it's double the points.
Yeah. That's pretty much what they say. Well, they are
Which,
saying
okay,
that.
we got to talk about the elephant in the room. They are racist.
Yes. Uh, but still, at that point, while they are saying that, at least I personally had the impression that they were just bullshitting. I didn't expect they would actually turn out to be cold-blooded killers.
And kids are 100 points.
Apparently so. So yeah, they come across the kid on a bike and they run him over. And yeah, we have already
Well, right
commented on
before
that.
that, his mom, right before that, the kid's mom is all nicey as saying, "Okay, put your helmet on," and the little kid's like, "Okay, mommy." Kind of like a Leave It to Beaver moment.
Indeed. So yeah,
You can imagine the mother was kind of like June Cleaver.
Yeah. So they killed that kid and they don't show any remorse or even shock at what they did. They all just laugh about it, not even fearing the consequences for their actions. One guy
Well,
is
the
like,
girls they got out outside of the car and snapped pictures of them of their kill.
yeah, I was actually surprised that nothing big happened about those pictures, such as the pictures being found and used as evidence or something like that.
In as corrupt of a city as Tromaville is.
Well,
I mean,
apparently so.
the mayor was in on a drug thing, as we find out later.
Yeah, and he did nothing about it, right?
Correct. All he did was sit on his fat tub of lard and eat and get fanned off by babes.
Pretty much. And yeah, shortly afterwards, we see them bullying Melvin again, and that's when Julie pulls a stunt that makes everything go badly wrong.
Yep.
What do we think of that scene?
Tammy, what did you think about the scene of Julie enticing him to put on a pink tutu? You're on mute. You're on mute, Tammy.
Oh, what now?
What did you think about the scene with when Julie enticed Melvin to get into that pink tutu and what happened afterwards?
I can't believe he fell for it. It's just like, you know, I know how desperate he was, but God, that that was beyond being desperate to be talked into getting in that. I mean, he put up a fight at first, and then she squashed that little bit of fight so quick. You know, that was just that was so bad. That was so nasty on her.
Well,
What they did to him. That was just terrible.
actually, I got the impression that Melvin was kind of slow, or not to use the R word, but actually, I somehow got the impression that when he was thrown into the toxic waste and became the monster, that he actually became more intelligent after that too.
One could say that there's been a lot of things with toxic waste that uh, you know
I think
uh,
that he might have been a little bit slower, and um, or he might just have been a really, really intensely nerd.
Huh.
So,
Uh,
unfortunately, either way, whether being slower or being a really intense nerd, he wasn't getting laid. So,
no. I think he was definitely mentally challenged. And
yeah,
that's
but
not saying that I'm not mentally challenged because I have a disability, so I can relate.
yeah, well, you at
uh,
least get laid.
I may, yeah. I don't think if I acted like Melvin when we met that we would be where we are now.
oh
Probably
my.
not. I'm nice, but I don't know if I'm quite that nice.
Yeah.
but um, but yeah, she makes him she flashes him, backs her eyes, and convinces him to get in that pink tutu, and then he's totally laughed at out of the gym, and he's basically chased down the halls, which it looks like they're in like a school type setting. Then it almost doesn't seem like it's in that gym area, and all the gym people seem to laugh at him too. So he ends up uh, getting chased outside the building and lands headfirst into one of the. Oh, and this is one thing I noticed. While the dudes had stopped their truck that had the toxic waste on it, one thing I know that trucks should actually have for their, um, especially for toxic waste bins like that, is at least have them tied down. Those toxic waste bins were moving around even before they parked the darn truck. So they were unsafe to begin with.
And they weren't covered.
True.
And they weren't covered, which is another thing. So to me, part of it is on them because they didn't have it secured. But they also shouldn't have stopped the truck just to smoke some dope. But
uh,
he landed in it, and then he began to melt, and he's. I actually found the screaming scene of him on the ground uh, almost as bad as the kill scene for the old man in the Food of the Gods. Remember that, Tammy? I felt like some of that scene could have been edited out.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I feel he was screaming way too long. But he was definitely on fire when the police man showed up and tried to help him up or whatnot. I think he got on fire, and so he ran away. And I guess Boris, tell us what happened after that.
So what happens after that? Or is that when he comes home and goes into the bathtub and his mother doesn't still realize what has happened? Is
That's a
that it?
possibility. It might have happened then, but I thought he like found a place for him. Oh, that might. Yeah, I think that's what happened first. Is he went to go home, and his mom didn't recognize him, which is why I
Actually,
thought it was kind of funny that she showed up at the end trying to defend him.
yeah, actually, that part kind of didn't make sense to me either. Yeah, first he was in the bathtub, she didn't even see him. I think she saw him only the day after or something, and then she, I don't know, ran inside or maybe fainted or something. At first, I wasn't even sure what happened to her. I thought she might have gotten a heart attack or something since she stopped appearing. But yeah, then at the end we saw her and she was alive and well and still defending him, which does impose the question why he didn't go back living with her. Um,
Well, I'm sure it was a shock seeing him that way, and she probably didn't think it was him at first.
uh, yeah, I
But
guess.
it's then that I think he went and found himself a home and put a home together in this toxic waste area somewhere in the city, which we find out later that the mayor has actually got some plans uh, uh, to condemn because it's prime property or whatnot, and uh, all the dudes that he seems to hang with seem to be a-okay with it because there's a new area in town that they've been dumping their toxic waste at. So, but
Ooh.
I believe this is about when the first group of there is a couple of gang moments where there are some gangsters that are attempting to attack a woman. I think
Isn't it a cop who gets attacked first?
Yeah, the police
yes,
are trying to
it's
bribe
the
the cop.
officer Leary. That's right.
They're trying to bribe him because all the other cops are dirty and they're trying to bribe him and he's like, no way. So then they start beating up on him.
And that's when we meet the cigar face dude, which um, I guess he gets his ass beat by Toxie, and the cop gets ultimately on Toxie's side
Well, and
with everything.
Toxic killed the other two that were involved, though.
Correct.
Uh,
And
he,
Cigar Face, well, he leaves and says, "I'll get you for this." And that's
yeah.
that's when it goes to that Mexican food place.
Oh yeah, there are some good spudals in that scene.
Well,
Well,
before
it's kind
that,
of
we have the scene that I didn't like, don't we?
which is
The kid.
yeah. Before that, we have the kid, which we somewhat talked about already. But
Yeah,
um,
that's at the very beginning.
yes, uh,
But we want to
they're
show
talking
how
about
demented. We want to show how demented these idiots are that actually cause Toxie to become Toxie. You know.
correct. So there is that, and this all leads up to them creating Toxie to begin with by chasing him into that toxic waste dump canister or whatever. Which, in any case, I think.
Well, the whole backdrop on this whole thing is your mayor, your police force, and everybody that's in power in that town is corrupt, and they think
Yep,
that
and
everybody's everybody's
the
paying
police chief.
everybody off, and they don't think nothing of having that toxic waste place, and they think it's gonna be really cool to move it like close to a school, I believe, is where they were going to be moving it to, and they think that's just great, and everybody's paying everybody off, and
Which
everybody's.
honestly, that that part is setting up the next film uh, franchise that also made Trauma on the map a little bit more with Class of Nukem High. So, um, which is later, but I do believe that there is something that happens where they actually do move it more near the school, and because that series of films is set in the world of this, it's not far off to think that maybe that's setting up that future in Class of Nukem High. So,
Whew.
if you think that far ahead. But in any case, we have, I do believe, before he enacts his revenge, that taco place with the gangsters and that, where there's a I guess this is a local place, a Mexican place. In fact, it's called something real basic. I think it's called the Mexican food,
Uh, I forgot the
which I
name,
thought was
but
kind of
could
funny.
be.
Well, it said the
We,
Mexican food right on it.
uh, then yeah, that was it.
But anyways, tell us what happens.
Oh yeah, some I don't know, robbers break in, right? But aside
Oh,
from
while a
just
bunch of people are eating.
yeah. So yeah, three men break into the restaurant, but yeah, they appear like robbers. But aside from just coming there to steal money, they start messing with those people in really bad ways. That's where we get to know Sarah, who eventually gets hooked up with Melvin. She is a blind woman. She appears there, and yeah, her dog gets killed, which is the moment that I kind of didn't like to see. But oh well. Uh,
Well, I seem to remember one of the cooks in the back bringing out a a thing of whiskey from his groin area, and then him going to serve a taco right after that.
Yeah, and there was also a moment of one guy there asking the robbers to just take him as a hostage and let the others go, and he just gets shot to death. I think that's before.
That was one of the customers, and if you actually look even further into the film, the same guy ends up showing up in the background of the police station, police cops that was sitting that had gotten shot up before. So
how is that possible?
Well, I don't know. They don't think of these things later on that people will actually notice. If the same actor that they had shot up before is in a later scene, plus independent movie, and donning many hats. So
interesting.
But it's not like he had a big role later on. It's just he showed up as one of the police dudes in the back of when they were in the police office or whatnot later on. But there are these three dudes. One of them is black, and one of them looks like he's like a mime because of his face paint or whatnot. The other dude, I don't know if he had a name or anything, but that guy actually had some moves. He did like a Bruce Lee kick at Toxie at one moment. So I gave him credit for having a couple of cool looking moves, but he basically fought these three after the one dude got shot, and he took the one black guy's arm and beat him over the head with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
And then he flipped the other guy around a little bit, and the third guy, of course, I mentioned the moves, but ultimately he was able to, in the back, take and he made one into a fudge sundae. Another, he made some finger fries out of dude's hands. And then the other one he stuck inside where you would normally stick pizza in an oven. And I forget exactly what the police said when they showed up. What do you got here? Well, here I've got this. I think I see this, and this is also what I see. So it was kind of funny that they were kind of nonchalant about it.
Yeah, and eating food from the crime scene and things like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'd do the same thing. But I mean, there was a lot of tacos to go around.
Yeah, that was funny.
But I'm not sure if this is when Toxie went up against the next gang, or did he go back to his revenge on the kids who kind of turned him into what he is. But I do think he does take Sarah from there.
Oh yes, yes.
I do think he takes Sarah from there, they somewhat have a romance going on, and
Oh yeah.
he takes her back to his place. Well, I like how he just puts a photograph of his mom on the wall the first time he set up his place.
Yeah, actually, the way he did that was also something that made me think she might have died from shock when she saw him, but apparently not.
So Tammy,
Uh,
when was it that he went back and exacted his revenge on the original bullies?
He started like little by little, he see, who did he go? Oh, he did the one guy
Wanda.
first. No, he did the guy first that when he was lifting weights and he made it come down onto his head.
Oh, that was the dude that was passing the drugs around, and that was related to the mayor.
Right, he did him first, and then I think didn't he do the did he do the blonde next? Chased her?
No, I
No,
think
he
he
went.
did the brunette first because he went to the sauna and had
Okay,
her sit on the hot coals,
all right, yeah,
and then he
so,
did the blonde.
yeah. Um,
I forget how he did the blonde though.
he chased her around and chased her around, and then he cut all her hair off. Remember? Because when she showed up at the police station, she had all her hair cut off, and she started screaming at the other girl that couldn't sit down because she had patty on her ass. Remember?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
And she's like, "Look what he did to me." Well, look what he did to me. You know?
yeah, and we saw in the deleted scenes a little something. Because
Whew.
there are deleted scenes that they didn't have, and there was a moment where they were looking at the photos from the child that they had killed, and the one fat girl came up to them, and they pushed her back, and then she played the pull my finger joke, and she literally farted right there, and that was a deleted scene.
She farted.
Yeah, it
Yes,
wasn't a
she
deleted
said,
scene.
"Pull my finger." There's a joke that you can pull on someone and say, "Pull my finger," and then if you literally can fart at that point in time, it's funny.
Ooh, sounds like something I should try at some point.
Well, make sure it's a fart and not a poop in the pants kind of fart.
yeah, I'll try.
Just got to have one cooked up at the time. Either that, or some people actually do the mouth farting. Here, pull my finger. You can do it that way too, or if you can do it with the teeth.
oh yeah, maybe.
But you've never had anyone do that in front of you.
Oh, it's not a common joke in my country, so I
Huh.
think some people have maybe done similar things, but not that exactly.
Aha. Oh, it's almost
But
as
I
common
think
as the
I
shaking
think
the hand
after
with the
the
hand buzzer. Anyways,
I think after the Mexican restaurant, there's like a whole montage of things that you see him do. You know, you
yep.
see him save the kids, you see him help the old lady, you see him do that. You know, there's like a whole montage of stuff. So and then you see all the newspaper headlines. It's like a whole thing.
I get a kick out of when the blonde when Julie doesn't show up.
Oh,
Oh,
well, when she
indeed.
doesn't show up, that's not nice what they do to that
be
old
well.
lady.
So,
That's not nice what they do to that old lady when she doesn't show up.
well, no.
Yeah,
They throw her
it's
groceries on the floor and steal her car.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely not nice. Although it was kind of morbidly hilarious, but it was more hilarious what came to them after that.
Agreed. I think they got what was due deserved.
Oh yeah, I think when Melvin jumped on the car and caused it to crash, that whole drive and how it ended, that was a major spoodown moment. I really had a good laugh with that. I think that would possibly be my favorite scene, but okay, we will get into favorite scenes.
And yeah, ultimately their car explodes somehow with them inside. So the girls actually survived. The boys did not. And then I guess shortly after that is when I do believe they come across another. Oh, what was this? Oh, I know that there was a moment where Toxie was actually approached by a pimp with a like 15-year-old girl. At one point in time, and he beat the shit out of the pimp and drove the girl home or whatnot.
I somehow forgot that moment too.
No, I remember that one. Because guys all 15. It's only 15 and only costs you $15.
I thought it was 15 cents, but
No.
But yeah. And then later he came up against a bunch of gang members. I forget exactly what they were doing, but apparently Cigar Face was outside of a vehicle, and then like 7 other dudes popped out of the car like clowns. And they all surrounded him, and he beat them up, and I think Cigar Face in fact died in this scene. But that was another fighting moment. What happened next after that? Didn't he hurt someone innocent? Oh yeah, that's right.
Not quite innocent. She seemed innocent
Not quite
when
innocent.
he did that. Yeah, he put an old woman into a dry cleaning machine. That was
yeah,
also
because dude came back. Dude got all hyper because a cop was putting a ticket on his car, so that distracted him while Toxie took care of this woman.
Yeah. Truth be told, I was somewhat surprised Melvin didn't go after that cop.
but he certainly put that old lady in the laundromat thing and turned that thing on.
Oh hell yeah! And even at the time when it seemed like he was doing something wrong, like she was innocent. Okay, it was a what the fuck moment, but at the same time, I couldn't help finding it hilarious.
Well, at first they do think that he fucked up and that there was no that this lady there was nothing wrong, you know. And then you find out, well, yeah, she deserved it.
Oh yeah, and it,
But that's not
even
how the
if
mayor is. That's not how the mayor is going to spin it. He actually calls in the National Guard, and that's when you see a ton of military show up with tanks uh, and shit, and everyone's all like saying, "Oh my God, they called the National Guard!"
Well, yeah, the mayor called the National Guard in and everything because him and all his cohorts are realizing that Traumoville is actually turning into a nice place to live because the crime has gone way down. And they don't want that. They don't want all these people moving in and thinking it's a nice place to live, you know?
ah
Right?
So they want to
yeah.
get rid of Toxie because Toxie's making it a nice place to live. And it's because all these people moving in thinking it's a nice place is changing, you know, the real estate market, and it's changing, and then they're buying up land and they're doing this and all the stuff that's disrupting all the, you know, all these people that are, you know, corrupt. So
Oh,
Yep.
pretty much, yeah.
There were these couple of guys who were evidently accosting Sarah while she was walking out from like a convenience store type place, and she was like, "You better be careful. My boyfriend will come after you. Well, we'll take care of your piddly a little boyfriend." And then Toxie shows up, and he's like, "Hey, Sarah," and they look at him and they're like, "Holy shit!"
that's because she starts yelling Melvin, so they start mimicking Melvin. Melvin, they don't think, you know, if you got the name of Melvin, they don't think that there's anything to worry about.
Right?
Oh, definitely.
But the mayor has basically rabble roused the military and the townsfolk all into thinking that Toxie has innocently killed an innocent woman, and he's all about shooting him down. Whereas the military is not. They're on orders to capture him alive. Um, and I do think that's about when the cops and the kids get together, and all the uh, all of the people he saved kind of like show up and protest it, and they get in front of the bullet that might have been for him or whatnot. And so you've got some people trying to save him, and Toxie, well, as we know, bullets don't seem to phase him. But he keeps walking up to the mayor, and I think he basically like, doesn't he kill him?
Yes, he does.
That's right. He grabs. Let's see what you're made of. Let's see if you have any guts to do this or something like that. And so he takes his guts, and everyone's cheering for him, and that's when you hear the narration pull in. Now there are some moments where his blonde girlfriend Sarah is actually kind of funny too. I have to kind of go back to her and give her credit for acting the stupid blonde.
Good noticing.
But I think their relationship is kind of cute.
Oh
Yeah,
What
yeah.
do y'all?
her peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right?
Uh,
With the peanut
Peanut
butter
butter and
and the
jelly sandwich with Drano.
Drano, and there was something else that was on it too.
Oh, you're talking about the deleted scenes, right?
No, she was making that sandwich and she put
Yeah,
peanut
that was a
butter and
deleted scene.
okay, I
That was a
thought it.
deleted scene I showed you after the movie. She actually
Oh,
made him a peanut butter and Drano sandwich. I think it
Huh.
was part Drano, part something else.
well, she was talking about how she liked to cook or whatever, and yeah.
Yeah, that was a deleted scene.
Oh,
Uh, oh yeah, did anyone notice that as far as we got to know in this movie, Melvin doesn't seem to
Are we
have
pretty
any
much at the end of the movie?
kryptonite? Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much.
All right, so I have to say that the police mentioned the police chief because he's kind of
well,
a
wait a
he.
minute. He was saying something, and you cut him off.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was saying, did anyone notice that at least as far as we got to see in this movie, Melvin doesn't seem to have any kryptonite, any weakness, anything that could theoretically destroy him?
Not so far. No, I don't see anything because
No,
he's.
not so far. Which often there is a weakness in most superheroes. So maybe we'll see something in the sequels or something like that. But in any case, I do think that. I was going to say that the police chief. Uh, he seemed like he was an ex-Nazi. So when the mayor said something at one point in time gave him an order, he was like, "Yes, mein Führer." I mean, "Yes, mein
Ah,
Mayor."
oh yeah, yeah, I did notice the Hitler joke.
So
The mayor reminded me of Jabba the Hutt, though.
Nice one. That
uh,
didn't cross
yeah.
my mind, but now when you say it, I can see
Is
why.
it Jabba the Hutt or Pizza the Hut? Anyways,
Yeah.
Either one will work.
yep. Either one will work. But at the end of the day, what did Tammy? What did you think about the production overall?
I guess it was okay. It's it's trauma. You know, they're not known for having big budgets or whatever. They're known for working with what they got. And hijinks type of things. It's trauma. So
And it is the movie that put him on the map. It became a cult classic really fast and really quick, and it came out the year I was born, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Oh yeah.
But in any case, did you have anything more on the production before I head over to Boris?
I guess it was, like I said, it was pretty decent. I mean, you already know the couple of the things I did not like, but I mean, other than that, it was you know, nothing, nothing totally spectacular, except like as far as effects go or whatever, because it is from 1984, so. But I think with the effects that they had in it went with the time and everything. So
Okay. Alrighty. Well, what about you, Boris? What did you think about the production overall?
Well, regarding the fact that it's an 80s movie and an independent movie, I think it's actually quite good. I mean, while I was watching it, it did feel like an old movie, but if I hadn't known it was independent, I really couldn't have told that it's amateurish or anything like that. For a movie from that time period, I would say it looked quite good with all the explosions and gore and crazy driving and all that. I think it's quite impressive they managed to put all that together the way they did if they were just independent filmmakers. So yeah, I think I pretty much
Okay.
liked the production.
And I as well liked the production myself. I think they had a very believable character to originally play Melvin. Melvin had to be a little bit mentally challenged to even accept the role. Um, and I think he played him off rather well. And then whoever actually played Toxie fit the suit rather well. Um, for its time that it came out, I think it was playing with a lot of high school tropes at the time and bully tropes a little bit, and some. Ultimately, I believe it was about corruption within an inner city, and then a superhero to clean up the city. So I think it had some moralistic values at the end of the day, and uh, honestly, I never would have thought that this kind of movie would actually have as good of a track run as it has, because it's got 3 sequels, a remake, uh, a comic book that was put out by Marvel, and the cartoon
By Marvel.
tune that was on Saturday. Yes, it was a Marvel
Holy
comic
hoot hoot.
before Disney took over it and brought it to shit. But
Ew.
um,
Yeah. Uh, Disney
uh,
is worse than the movie ending up in toxic waste.
but in any case, I do I do think for its time it was actually I mean, it built itself over time, and I think it built itself an audience. There are many trauma villains, trauma people who consider themselves traumaites, um, trauma billions, as it were, uh, trauma fans, to be exact. Uh, I mean, it's a wonder that it's a film company that's still in existence to this day. And yes, I think Lloyd is starting to actually be in ill health. I do
Oh,
believe he is still planning on uh, possibly doing one more Toxic Avenger film. It's always been in the works to do a future one. So I hope that he's able to do that. And I do think that this production, to have it be set in New Jersey, that was pretty cool. To show some of the corruptness in a city. And I think he just built upon it over time. So I think this was a very good production for its time. In any case, let us think about. I do think that there is a theme for Toxic Avenger as far as music goes. Did anyone notice the theme song?
Oh, yes. Was it in the ending credits too?
It was.
Yeah, although
Toxic Avenger. I'm just looking to see if it had any other music in the soundtrack.
I think it did actually.
Let's see. We've got a basement chase transformation that was composed and performed by Christopher Burke. We got Body Talk, performed by Sandy Farina. Nothing at All, performed by Mark Hoffman and Race. Is This Love, by Mark Hoffman and Race. Bodybuilder, The Chase, Factor One, The Stalk, Laid on the Line, Mexican Restaurant Fight, and Workout, which was performed by Andrea Miranda. I thought that the Toxic Avenger theme was in there too, but I guess maybe it's something else. Let's see.
Huh.
Maybe it came in the second movie. I don't know. Toxic Avenger theme song. Ooh, there's a Toxic Crusaders theme song. Toxic Avenger.
Is Toxic Crusader connected to Toxic Avenger, or is it a completely unrelated thing?
Eventually that came around, and that was by Scott Casey in part two, but I guess it didn't show up in part one. So other than that, let's do favorite scenes and or favorite characters. Boris, let's start with you this time.
Oh, I think my favorite character is definitely Melvin. And my favorite scene,
Melvin, not
probably the.
Toxic Avenger.
Sorry, what?
Melvin and not Toxic Avenger.
Isn't that the same character?
I guess so, but to me, Toxie is an entirely different person.
Okay, then Toxie is my favorite character. And my favorite scene, probably the drive where Bozo and Slug got killed eventually. It was,
Okay.
I think that was the part where I was yelling Spudao more than any other part.
Alrighty. Is that it?
Oh, I think so.
Okay. What about you, Tammy? Favorite scene and or favorite character?
Taxi's my favorite character.
Of course.
Okay.
I think I like the taco place. A lot happens in that whole scene. I think I like that one. So.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I believe that my favorite character is Toxie. But I have to agree with you, Tammy. I really do like that place and what he does to the dudes. For some reason, when he takes off dude's arm and beats him to a blade pulp, that's fucking awesome. And then the third guy, he like kind of does this Bruce Lee like kick. I actually thought that it was actually kind of cool. And then what he does to them, and then what the cops kind of nonchalantly say, "Oh, what do you see?" Well, I see this with a cherry on top, and so on and so forth. So, just thought it was hilarious. But in any case, at the end of the day, hopefully you, ladies and gentlemen, have enjoyed our discussion. Let's see if I can find the quotes. The quotes. Okay, I guess I can't find it, but oh well. But at the end of the day, I hope that you, ladies and gentlemen, have enjoyed our discussion on the film. Hopefully, you have checked out the movie by now. If you have not, definitely go and watch it. It's definitely worth at least a one-time watch. It's
Definitely.
gas. And let us know down in the comments what you thought on either or. And I guess we'll be seeing you next week. Tammy, have you chosen the movie yet?
I can't remember the name of it. It's that one that I like.
A Dog's Purpose?
No, that one with Vincent Price and what's his name? That's a funny one. They're the they're the funeral. They do the funerals and
is it with is it the Raven?
No, the other one with the same dude in it with Vincent Price.
Oh,
I always ask you if I have it, and you say yes, you do.
yeah, you do in your Scream Legends collection.
I
believe.
think of the name of
Was
it.
it Twice Told Tales?
No.
Was it Twice Told Tales?
No.
Black Cat?
No.
Well, I guess you'll have to know it. We'll let you know what it is, Boris, once we find the title, because she's got to find the name of this sucker.
I thought you'd remember it.
I don't know it right offhand.
It's got the same guy in it that's in Raven.
What could it?
Yeah. No, not Hugh Laurie.
All right.
Hugh Laurie's House.
Who?
The Comedy of Terrors?
Yeah.
Oh, the comedy of...
That's it.
Terrors. Dishonest Undertaker Waldo Trumbull and his sidekick Felix Gilly are creating their own customers when they cannot find willing ones.
Yes.
Who?
So it's almost like they're retelling the Burke and Hare story. Which Burke and Hare were actual grave robbers who went and robbed graves for a living, and they were eventually caught. But they are most famously known for grave robbing.
Well, I want to do this one. It's funny.
Not just grave robbing, but robbing bodies. And originally they started out just robbing bodies, but then they started murdering and creating their own cadavers.
Okay. Well, I want to do this one. It's funny.
Okay, so the comedy of terrors next week. So look out for that, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be hilarious.
Oh, sounds good.
Everyone say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.